Alright, we are back. This will be part 2 of the video. I set up the inverter so when I turn the main switch off to the device, the inverter will shut off. Because we're really refining the system. So anyway, we are on. I'll turn the inverter on. And we will run some loads and watch the system recharge itself. So we have a 40 watt incandescent here, and now I will hook up a LED. And then I'll give you a good look at it. So we have an LED lit, we have an incandescent lit. Move it back a little. We are running loads off the device. You can run loads off this thing for a time, and what will occur is once you shut the inverter off, the system will recharge itself. Once you shut the inverter off, the system recharges itself. And now there's a built-in switch. Whoops. There's a built-in switch now in the inverter, so when we switch it off, it doesn't slowly draw parasitic power and keep draining anything. So I had to add that. I had to add a manual switch that's thrown, which is right here, because inverters draw parasitic power even when they're just hooked up to a battery or supercap. So here we are. And we're going to quite rapidly lose charge because we're running 40 watts from such a tiny supercap. A little over 40 watt output. I feel heat coming off that. We'll run it for a bit, and then I'll switch the inverter off and we'll watch the system recharge itself. And we'll watch it do what our heavily biased laws of physics say is impossible. Because when you ultimately break it down, where did the energy to start the Big Bang come from? If you use an Occam's razor approach to all their theories, they ultimately break down and only apply to closed mechanical systems. This is an open system, so that explains a few things. People don't like that. They can complain about it and be upset all they want, but at the end of the day, no one truly knows where or how the energy for the universe came from, where it started, how it works. At the end of the day, it's just best guess. The device keeps getting better, more tuned as components come out. Like I said, those SR150 diodes are helping a lot. And I also found this schematic that helped a lot on how to wind a special transformer to keep your source battery recharged. I mean, not your source battery, source supercap. I always get the term battery and supercap mixed up because I'm constantly working with both throughout the day. Definitely prefer the Brazilian supercaps. They're very light. And anyway, we're running that. Got into a bit of a quote about the universe and metaphysics and how things work. Metaphysics and physics are two sides of the same coin. The most powerful forces in this universe cannot be quantized or measured, as per the cult of bumping particle people that love particles. Atoms exist, particles exist, but an electron is no more than 1 unit of dielectric induction. So that's what the ancients believed. They called it a broken, loose holdfast, an electron. So it's running, it's doing work, dropping charge. I'll switch this off soon and we'll watch it recharge itself. But yeah, many things violate their false laws of conservation of energy that only apply to closed mechanical systems. One of them was the multi-pactor tube invented by Philo Farnsworth. The other are special neon sign transformers, where if you calculate the wattage out versus the wattage in, the wattage out will slightly be higher. The other thing that violates the conservation of energy is light as it passes through different mediums. If you shine light through rows of glass, special types of different glass, the light will speed up and slow down multiple times. Where did that extra energy come from? It gained energy from the medium it passed through. So, that's that. A perpetual motion machine will never work unless it has an external input to something. This is not a perpetual motion machine. There's no moving parts. It's not a closed mechanical system. It is a solid state, open, negative resistant, magnetic resonant energy harvesting system with an earth ground with that green wire. I use all my earth connections green. So it's an open system, similar to a solar panel. You wouldn't call a solar panel a perpetual motion machine. So, demonstrating to you how it works, the principles behind it, the physics, the utmost efficient components, the fact we separated cause from effect, we have the correct capacitors, we're varying capacitance with respect to time for theoretical energy manifestation, and those correct DC capacitors are the green ones here, the two green ones. So, modern electrical engineering or physics have a problem with that. You can keep playing with your closed loop dead end circuits. All of us will be playing with the real shit, which is open systems that are magnetic resonant. So it's getting fun, it's getting wild. You want to keep playing with closed circuits and suppress your back EMF with flyback diodes, be my guest. But these type of circuits, all the energy that flows through it flows back in to keep the system recharged. Depending on how heavy you earth ground it, it'll either recharge itself back up to virtually full, or it will slowly drain. Your heavy earth grounding is key. Again, we're putting out 40 watts, and that's our power output. I've actually never done this test with the negative resistance, because technically the inverter is running off the negative resistance and the DC output here. So I'm not sure if there's some interesting effect occurring, because the negative resistance produces very interesting effects. And again, I have it coming in what I would really like. These are 350 watt pure sine wave inverters, the purest sine wave you can get. I would also like an AC isolation transformer on it with a resonant capacitor for even more isolation. That would make me happy. But yeah, lately we've been drowning in orders. I've had to have two of my friends help me construct everything. Generator boards are getting to the point where it's become the utmost refined. Everyone who ordered will be getting it soon. It should ship out less than 2 weeks. I just had major breakthroughs, and I would feel guilty giving people something that I know a major breakthrough just occurred, and you have the old product when literally a breakthrough came out a couple weeks later. So that explains that. Got more efficient components. Something you have to watch out for too is I got some of these tip 35C transistors in, and these are not tip 35C. These were like a Chinese knockoff, and I paid a little bit more for these. See if we can get the light angled on it. But anyway, because the system runs off a tip 35C transistor, and if you hook up a Chinese version of a tip 35C transistor, the circuit won't even turn on. It'll instantly blow up. So learned that the hard way. Keep this here so you can see the difference. In fact, I'll show you the difference. I'll get a real tip 35C. Yeah, okay, so You can see the difference in the metal. You see that? There's like real metal here. Real metal, it's shiny. This is like a cheap, I don't know what it is, like a cheap, shitty material on the back, but you can really feel a difference. This one is almost twice the weight of this one. So, keeping that as a comparison. That's the shitty one. This is the real one. So we are running loads. Slowly dropping. Not exactly sure what the negative resistance is doing while in combination with running an AC inverter. The first time I'm doing this test. I want to see underneath it. It's exactly how it looks. Thing is extremely simple. It's just a negative resistant RLC circuit. So yeah, it's coming off heat. And again, the wireless power effects are nuts. Wouldn't be here without all you guys, the research and support. You guys are amazing. The electrical research is getting amazing. It's all about fine-tuning that circuit. I mean, it only gets better from here, right? Any point we have heat generation in the circuit, we'll capture that and reuse it. And this thing is somehow messing just by me touching it. It's somehow making the light flicker on the AC side, which is very odd. So I definitely think something's occurring with the negative resistance, where we're able to run this a little longer than normal. It's still obviously draining, but we're probably able to run this a little longer than normal. I'll switch this off now, and we will watch the system recharge itself. And as you see, I have the inverter running through the part of the ringer circuit where if I were to switch the main circuit off, everything would shut off. So we don't continually drain the source after the ringer is shut off. We're consuming about 4 amps. Consuming 4 amps to run a 42.8 watt load. So now I will shut the inverter off and we will watch the system recharge itself. And we obviously still have wireless power. We will watch it recharge itself for a bit, see what it does via that negative resistance phenomenon. Sure there's no glare on the screen. If it gets up to 13.3, that's virtually a full charge. So I'm not entirely sure how fast the negative resistance phenomenon will fully charge this, because I did just finish finely tuning this thing, and we're filming its first effects. I've also never recharged this from any external source yet. It's always recharged itself from the ringer. I also improved my earth connection outside too. I buried another metal plate in the ground and linked it together. So yeah, we're coming right up almost to a full charge again. And when it hits 13.26, I'll switch the inverter on again. I don't know how much longer of a video I should do or how long you guys want to watch it, but I'm just documenting everything and showing you how the system works. So we're already at 13.26. And keep in mind, I wanted to keep this thing compact, but keep in mind, I can add another resonant receiver coil, a special one, get it all fine-tuned up, and have even more power. Like the fact we still have all this wireless energy to capture and play with, while consuming virtually nothing, and it recharges itself from that negative resistance phenomenon. And the people that doubt it, I'm sorry, but you're completely wrong. You got to hit the old ancient electrical textbooks, especially the ones by Steinmetz. So I'm not interested in what your colleges teach you. I'm interested in the truth of the matter, of how things work. I don't care what your PhD professors say. I care about the truth, which is in ancient textbooks from Maxwell, Steinmetz, Tesla, Heaviside. Don't really care anything about Einstein or what he says because he stole most of his work from Henri Poincaré. Most of these people are just glorified mathematicians and don't believe in anything that can't be counted. If we listen to them, we'd only have a world where we believe in things that can be counted. You can't quantize or count emotions. There's no such thing as an emotion particle. There's no particles within a field, so as you see, we're just about at a full freaking charge, so that's phenomenal. This is the fastest I've seen it recharge. Even better than the system that was on the big plate. So I will throw the switch again, we will run our inverter, and we will have our loads power up. Here we go. I'll tell you, man, this stuff is getting kind of fun now. Can't imagine what would happen if you grounded that into a lake. And yeah, everything's stone cold when it operates. Imagine there's heat somewhere in the inverter as it runs those loads. Got a good look at everything. You know, no one complaining about anything. Here's how weird things are. Watch this. That's how you know you got it right, when almost like magic occurs. Like I said, any advanced technology is almost indistinguishable from magic, right? I believe that was Arthur C. Clarke that said that. So, just see everything around here. Hope my video doesn't get pulled because of, the heck is down here? Alright, nothing. Hope my video doesn't get pulled because I filmed my shotgun. So, hopefully I don't get some kind of strike for that, but whatever. As you see, we're just running along happy, fighting that voltage drain with our negative resistance phenomenon. Might even connect up a third bulb. Yeah, why not? Good test. I'll connect this guy. I also use my bed as a workshop sometimes, or like as a tabletop bench. You know, you want to look under it, it's exactly how it looks. That's how this looks. How this looks. I explained the physics behind how the device works, so there can be no mystery about it. Gotcha. In fact, maybe I'll even stress it out and put more of a load on it. We'll really see this thing shine. We'll run maybe 80 watts. Let's see what we're at. 72.5 watts. Oof, boy, we're really put a load on it. We are dropping now. This is a video documentary series of me stress testing the device. So ideally, the way this thing would work, you set this thing up, you follow the instructions. All you're gonna have to do to really work with it is throw a couple switches and make sure you have it heavily earth grounded, very heavy. The heavier, the better. And you'd run your loads for a bit. Your lights, charge your phone, your laptop, whatever you want, and you switch it off, the system off for a bit, recharges itself, you switch it back on, run your load for a time, half hour to an hour, switch it off, recharges itself, all depends on how much power you draw from it. And obviously, we can get much bigger capacitor or battery banks for longevity. So we're really stressing the system out now. Anyone who likes math can calculate how much watt hours we're expending by the time in the video and how much load we're drawing. It says it right here. Everything in this inverter is coming off the watt meter. And it's heating up my workbench here. I can feel like this whole area is getting heated. I kind of want to connect something else to it. Ran out of light bulb holders. I know some of you guys are probably getting bored and annoyed with how long the video is, but these videos probably will get longer as I further document everything, just to shut all the skeptics up with how the device operates. Make sure this is touching. I want it as best as it can be. So we are consuming 6.5 amps into that inverter, plus virtually nothing for the negative resistance phenomenon as it tries to recharge the source supercap. And I do have some thin leads here. I don't want to draw more than 100 watts from the device. My leads will probably start to get hot. Ooh, yeah, my leads are getting hot. I have to upgrade to thicker leads. The device was originally designed to only output 40 watts, but we're really stress testing it. Probably get away with 100. Good engineering, you always list your product as being able to output, you say it can output 40 when in reality it can output 100. You do that for safety. So we're outputting 71 watts. Our charge locked at 12.42. I want to say, I think the negative resistance phenomenon is getting us a bit more longevity when we run the inverter, but I'm not sure. It's just a guess. Still got the wireless power. I can even take this, touch this to my metal desk, and we will see wireless power. Like I said, this is almost the freaking magic of the device and of the technology. It's almost like magic. And for those who don't believe it, I will now shut the system off. drawing 71 watts. I will shut the system off. Inverter off. It'll recharge itself with that negative resistance. I smell a little bit of smoke here. I think one of my wires was at the point of melting. What got hot? Okay. So we are now watching it recharge in real time. And that thing is charging fast from that negative resistance. Holy shit. That thing, if we were doing this in a traditional way, that charge would be at like 12.50 or 12.60. But we can just keep using this thing. It's recycling itself. Not sure how long it'll take to hit 13.3 volts. We'll see. Or 13.26. I believe 13.26 was when we turned the inverter on again, so we'll see if it goes up to that. And I can only record for 35 minutes before I run out of memory on my phone. But nonetheless, you see it recharging itself. Things to note with the system is when you put an oscilloscope on it, just putting an oscilloscope on it will detune it and screw with your readings. Trying to measure it correctly with resistive loads. A proper resistive load will screw up your tuning. This device operates right at about 50 kilohertz open circuit. The RLC circuit is tuned for that. When you run wireless output loads, the frequency will drop as more of a heavy load gets placed upon it. The key that makes this work is, like I said, we establish negative resistance in the RLC circuit. We don't tap directly off the RLC circuit. We tap wirelessly off the RLC circuit. And because we tapped wirelessly off it, we have a gain. And that gain comes from the environment. So that explains it. It explains the phenomenal wireless power effects. So we're just happily recharging along, demonstrating this thing fully. And the heavier you earth that, the quicker it will recharge. So really honing in on that negative resistance phenomenon. Right before my phone, right at about 30 minutes, we'll turn it on again. We'll see what it charged it up to. And those who want another quick look around everything, this is how underneath the light bulb holder looks. You think I hid a battery in there? How would that even work? Please tell me, where's my hidden battery? The answer, there isn't one. The battery is the earth. Ooh, that would have been close. Good thing I caught that. That's that. Give you a good look at the inverter. Pretty light thing. Not really much to it. Can move around really easy. There's probably all solid state components in there. Here's our charge coming up. And I do believe I said at 30 minutes I would turn it back on. So We will turn it on now and see what it can do. Ooh, I gotta shut it off. I'm running out of memory.